Welcome to the Noka News Network. I'm Ricky French, joined by Dan Colley.
Hey everyone, how are you?
Thanks for joining us on our inaugural podcast. We're going to talk news no one cares about. What do we got coming up?
Well, in the first segment, we're going to talk a little bit about the internet and Google in particular. We're going to give a visit to the Florida man, and we're going to talk about wax figures and dinner time.
That all sounds great.
Well, wait till we get there.
Let me start you off with something here, Dan. This comes to us all the way from the illustrious Westmoreland County, Pennsylvania.
I have nothing to say about Pennsylvania, man.
Wonderful.
Go ahead. Drive
Wonderful.
on.
A Westmoreland County man is facing charges after he allegedly set his own car on fire and reported it stolen. State police responded to the incident after 54-year-old Donald Cassidy of West Newton, lovely, lovely place, West Newton, reported his 2010 GMC Acadia stolen on February 15th.
No, not my Arcadia.
Acadia, Dan.
Well, see, that's how much I know about the Acadia.
It's a fine automobile. Upon investigation, troopers located the vehicle in the woods off of White Bridge Road in Mount Pleasant Township. The vehicle was reportedly set on fire and unrecognizable. However, a visible VIN number on the vehicle certified Cassidy as the owner. After taking his phone and executing a search warrant, police say a look through his Google history turned up the search, quote, how to set your car on fire and make it look like an accident.
Perhaps he should have Googled how to get away with not having my Google history searched.
Yes, that would have also been helpful to him. He's facing charges of arson and filing a false police report, of course.
Speaking of Google, maybe a story that he should have listened to here on the Noka News Network before he supposedly set his car on fire? Allegedly. Google users, when they use their browser in incognito mode, just how hidden is your activity? The Alphabet Incorporated unit says activating the stealth mode in Chrome or private browsing in other browsers means the company won't remember your activity. But a judge with a history of taking Silicon Valley giants to task about their data collection raised doubts Thursday about whether Google is being as forthright as it needs to be about its personal information it collects from users. It says at a hearing Thursday in San Jose, California, U.S. District Judge Lucy Coe says that she's disturbed by Google's data collection practices as described in a class action lawsuit that says the company's private browsing promise is a ruse. The suit seeks $5,000 in damages for each of the millions of people whose privacy has been compromised since June of 2016. Weighing Google's attempt to get out of the suit dismissed, Coe said she finds it unusual that the company would make all the extra effort of data collection if it doesn't mean to use the information to build user profiles or targeted advertising. It goes on to say that they are what's called scraping to get data. I don't want Google scraping.
That doesn't sound good. I know that.
No, that sounds horrific.
Scraping.
Scraping. Yuck. All right. Well, Ricky, are you ready for a visit to the Florida man?
Florida man.
They say that 2 months' salary is what you should spend on a wedding ring. But that's the rule, but all the rules go out the window when you're in Florida. That's right, it's Florida man time, folks. Volusia County Sheriff's Office has issued an arrest warrant for Joseph Davis, 48, who is still at large at the time of this writing. Davis's fiancée found that the Mr. Right was so right, in fact, that he was such a catch that he was also engaged to an Orlando woman at the same time. After she did some of her own detective work via Facebook, she learned that the new Mrs. To-Be was wearing her wedding ring. As a matter of fact, it was a wedding ring. Yeah, right? Maybe you should, if you're going to marry two different people, get two different rings. What are you going to do, swap them on different days? I don't understand. Well, here's the real catch, Ricky. The wedding ring that she was wearing was her grandmother's wedding ring from a previous marriage. So it was in a box in her house And this Davis dude just swiped it out of there and took it to his new girl, his new Mrs. to be.
That's not nice.
No, that was the opposite of. The ring is worth approximately $6,270, and that was probably more than his 2-month salary, I would assume. So again, not following the rules. Mr. Davis has had multiple arrests in the past. They say love is dead, and maybe it is, but he had more love to give for just one woman, evidently.
There's a lot of that going around, apparently. This is out of Texas. Jason Collier was the police chief of the Stenton Police Department, and by all means, a family man. That was until the world learned that he had a wife, an ex-wife, 3 fiancés, and about 15 girlfriends.
That is way too many.
What's even more shocking is that none of them had any idea about the others until recently. Social media is what gave them away. There's nothing strange about having an open relationship or being part of a throuple, as this story says.
Is that one of those newfangled millennium words?
I think so. It's the first I've heard of it. You can't force a person to be monogamous, but you should expect some level of decency, of course. The one thing that separates cheaters from polygamists is consent. And Jason clearly didn't want to be seen as someone who can't be faithful to one woman. After all, he represented the law and family values, so he decided it's best to live several lives at once. The father of 4 that we know of was outed by his former girlfriend on Facebook, and things got pretty heated fast since the story went viral in a matter of seconds. I wonder what else went viral for Mr. Collier.
I don't know, but I know it's Collier, not Collies, and no one email us and give me any gripe.
We've seen Lifetime movies. Well, I haven't, but this story says we've seen Lifetime movies about men leading double lives. It certainly sounds like something that would be on there.
Is that something like Batman, Double Life?
I don't think it's quite the same thing. But anyway, this man from Texas went a bit further. But who dared to expose the police chief and a good family man? His ex. Cecily Steinmetz, 39, accused Collier of living a double/triple life with at least 2 girlfriends while being married with 4 kids. Steinmetz posted on Facebook what went down with Collier and their alleged affair. She even tagged the city of Stenton, writing, quote, "Chief Jason Collier is living a double/triple life. I was his girlfriend until yesterday. He lied to me and presented me with fake annulment documents when I found out he was married." That's going pretty far. I also found out about a second girlfriend, Christy, last night. The Texas woman added, "He lied to us, our children, and asked us both to marry him. He is a poor representative of your town." Keep in mind, this is all on the city's Facebook page. "He's a poor representative of your town. He would also visit me in Amarillo when he was on shift." Ooh, uh-oh. Why you got to bring Amarillo into this?
Amarillo did nothing to you. It was trying to mind its own business.
The whole thing broke down when Christy Schaefer saw a picture of Collier and Steinmetz, I assume on social media. She commented, and the 2 ladies put 2 and 2 together. Did a little detective work against the police chief. Christy and the cheater were even engaged at the time. And he wrote... they were engaged, and at the time he wrote on his current wife Opal's Facebook wall saying, "I fall short daily of being the godly husband." So this gives me a little bit of insight into why he might have been cheating. His wife is clearly a 93-year-old woman named Opal.
Well, they say everything's bigger in Texas, and that included the relationships, evidently. He couldn't just be married to 1 or 2 or 3 or...
The city manager, Dirk Downs, which is a name if I've ever heard one, gave us. I wish my name was Dirk Downs.
Well, you could have made it your performing name, I suppose.
I don't really want my name to be Dirk Downs. It sounds like a much seedier profession.
From the 70s.
Yes, and gave a statement since there was no way to avoid the burning topic. Yes, burning. There's a lot of burning going on, I imagine.
Wasn't the only topic burning, probably.
Yes, right.
They make a shot for that.
And a cream. The city is taking this seriously. Let me say that like Dirk Downs would say. The city is taking this seriously, and we'll be looking into any violations of city policy. I imagine that's how a guy named Dirk Dance does. Chief Jason Collier has been placed on leave while the city investigates. As per city policy, we will refrain from commenting on any personal issues of personnel in a public forum.
Sheesh. All right. Well,
There we go.
there you have it in Texas. You thought in Texas thought their problems were over with the snow.
Yes.
All right. So we just had President's Day, Ricky. Did you celebrate President's Day?
Like I always do with my, I don't know, hand on a Bible. I don't know.
You had no bit for that, did you?
No.
So you may have missed your chance out on some presidential artifacts. As Boston area auction house RR Auction is celebrating President's Day with a large collection of former presidents' items. This could have been your chance to own JFK's Harvard sweater, a signed picture of Lincoln and Tad, his son.
Ooh, Tad.
Yeah, it's a selfie. Or Andrew,
They're making a duck face.
they're TikToking. Or Andrew
You
Johnson.
said that like the old man you are.
I know. Right?
They were TikToking.
They're doing that TikTok. Or Andrew Johnson's letter of national mourning after the Abraham Lincoln assassination tragedy. There was a collection of over 300 pieces of interest from the former commanders-in-chief. Arguably the main attraction was locks of George and Martha Washington's hair. The hair was passed down from the grandniece's family and has documentation to prove authentication. Last year, RR Auction sold a lock of Lincoln's hair wrapped in a blood-stained telegram about his 1865 assassination to an unidentified buyer for the low price of $81,000.
That's a bargain.
At this time, we cannot confirm that any Lincoln clones have been made from that purchase yet.
Yeah. Well, here's to hoping.
Lincoln smash.
How else are we going to get rid of those vampires?
That's right. They have broken the wall. Shakespeare, Hamlet. So we have famous
No,
New.
almost nobody knows what that means. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, well, that's all right. Famous New York City restaurant Peter Luger Steakhouse in Brooklyn decided on a way to fill those empty seats during the coronavirus pandemic. They filled the seats with wax figures from the newly opened Madame Tussauds in Midtown Manhattan. Among the figures are those of John Hamm as Don Draper, Jimmy Fallon, Michael Strahan, Audrey Hepburn in her famous role from Breakfast at Tiffany's, and the man who I want to stare into their dreamy eyes as I eat my overpriced steak, one Mr. Al Roker.
Of course.
Restaurant Vice President Daniel Turtle was quoted as saying, "We thought this would be a fun way to fill the seats that needed to be remain empty anyway,
Right.
for spacing." So,
Of course.
Ricky, it begs the question: if you had a restaurant, Ricky's Restaurant,
How do you know I don't?
Ricky's Fine Eatery, who would you? What celebrity wax mannequins would you want to fill the empty seats in your restaurant?
Well, I will start off by answering it this way. Here in the studio, we have a canvas print of Molly Ringwald and Ali Sheedy from Breakfast Club, and I would start there with those two, and maybe fill it in with the rest of the Brat Pack just for good measure.
I want the principal doing the horns.
Yeah.
you messed
Yeah.
with the bull. I want that guy.
Right. Right.
But he's got to be staring at you with his fist in your face as you're trying to sit there and eat your lobster thermidor. I just want them fingers sticking you right in the eyeballs. Like if you turn too quick to see your girl, like, honey, this is you turn right in the eye, blinded by that guy.
Lobster thermidor.
How about maybe J. Edgar Hoover staring there?
Wearing a dress.
Yes,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
Sitting there staring at you. Maybe
J. Edgar, and he's holding papers about John Lennon and Martin Luther King Jr.
And he looks very disapproving about your dessert order that you've made.
I don't even know what tiramisu is.
What is that? That sounds like some kind of hoodoo juju.
Does anyone know what J. Edgar Hoover sounds like? Because I'm sure that's not it.
It might be close. Maybe Truman Capote sitting behind the bar looking at you with a drink.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That'd be a good one. Actually, if we're going to talk about someone at the bar having a drink, why don't we have, say, Hemingway?
Oh, yeah.
Let's put people in the position that makes sense. Hemingway boozing it up.
Holding a shotgun.
Shotgun.
Speaking of FBI, Hemingway. Holding a shotgun.
Maybe the guy from The Godfather, the large rotund man sitting behind a big Italian spread at a table in the back.
With a wax plate of gabagool.
I see that you ordered something off the kids menu. Something, I don't know. Orson Welles maybe devouring a 4-course meal. Something like that.
Yeah.
But but this being a New York restaurant, it makes sense that like Hepburn was there from Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Right.
And it makes sense that the John Hamm from the Don Draper version,
right?
I guess he's holding like a drink or something at the bar.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. And I understand it's a New York restaurant, but Michael Strahan, a famous Giants player and morning show host now.
Right.
But do you really want to be sitting there trying to enjoy your meal staring at Strahan grinning at you?
Not really, no.
I would think that that's probably not top of my list.
In
fairness, though, they didn't bring forth like Yoda and Darth Vader wax figures to stare at you while you're trying to eat. That could be a little discerning.
That would be a little off-putting.
Maybe that's what Hard Rock missed out on. Maybe they should have had wax figures of rock icons like Elvis thrusting his pelvis at your face as you're trying to eat a bone-in chicken sandwich or
a bone-in chicken sandwich. That doesn't sound good at all.
That's why I don't know the restaurant, Ricky. I make poor choices.
Did you consult Bruce Willis when Hard Rock was playing? Oh, that was Planet Hollywood.
Man, it doesn't matter. They were both pretty bad.
Pretty much the same thing.
Exactly.
Right? The best thing on the menu is the T-shirt.
My wife and I talked the other night about the chicken salad that they had at the Hard Rock Cafe, and we both waxed poetic about how reminiscent we were of such a good salad.
Really?
Yeah. I talked about the one in Pittsburgh. It was very good.
I missed out on that.
I still compare all other chicken salads to that one chicken salad. And just how delicious it was.
Oh, man. I'm sorry I missed that. That sounds amazing.
Well, here at the Noka News Network, next time we go out for a business luncheon in the news mecca of where we are here.
Speaking of news and chicken salad, the last time you had a news job, you stole a man's chicken salad sandwich.
Hey, there was no name on it. I was told, go in the newsroom and grab a sandwich.
He specifically requested the chicken salad, and boy, you nabbed it before he even had a chance.
Perhaps he should have wrote his name on it instead of, if he wasn't so busy trying to be high and mighty on the airwaves and taking a second to write a name on there.
And actually getting paid to work there and all.
What's that like?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Out of all those months, all we got paid with was dirty looks.
And chicken salad sandwich.
Chicken salad
and somebody else's chicken salid sandwiches.
We even had to pay to get snacks while we were there. That vending machine had never worked.
That's true. I think I got a Subway gift card as a going away present.
I actually can't complain. I did get paid twice working there, but they weren't from that station. They were from other stations because I was sending audio back from sporting events.
I got the privilege of doing one of those.
Did you really?
Yeah.
They sent me on 2 of them, it was cool. I enjoyed it, but again, something no one cares about. So that fits right into the NOCO theme.
Exactly. All right, what's coming up next, Dan?
All right, in the next after the break here, we're going to be talking a little bit about Ireland. We're going to be talking a little bit about England, and we're going to be checking in with our news bureau from our friends to the north.
Yes, the Great White North.
The land of milk and honey and beer and maple syrup
and hockey.
And bacon, but it's really ham. Don't try to fool me, Canada. I know it's ham.
All right, we'll be right back after this break. Enjoy yourself. Are you into model trains? Well, I'm not, but if you are, I've got a great suggestion, and that's Scale Sound Systems. Scale Sound Systems offers aftermarket drop-in speaker systems, LED conversion kits, decoders, parts, and installation services for model trains. Scale Sound Systems is an authorized ESU, Soundtracks, and TCS dealer and offers the best-sounding HODCC speaker systems on the market. Find Scale Sound Systems on Facebook, visit YouTube for demonstration and installation videos, and visit them at scalesoundsystems.com to shop and for other great information. scalesoundsystems.com.
You know, this tastes pretty good, especially out of our new Noka News Network mug.
Everything tastes better out of the Noka News Network mug. And you know what? I feel nice and cozy in my Noka News Network hoodie.
Well, it looks pretty awesome. It looks pretty cozy. Is it soft? Can I touch it?
It is soft, and no, you can't touch
Can you let me touch it?
You can't touch it.
All right. Well, where can I buy one of my own?
You can get the mugs, the hoodies, T-shirts, face masks, tote bags that you don't even have to pledge for. You just pay a low one-time fee.
That's pretty convenient.
Over at nocanews.bigcartel.com. That's nocanews.bigcartel.com. All that merch is available there.
Come on, man. Let me touch that sweater.
No. Show the world that you're under the news no one cares about with your Noka News Network merch. nocanews.bigcartel.com. Welcome back. It's the Noka News Network. What say you, Mr. Colley? What's going on in the Great White North?
Well, out of our Canadian Bureau, Ricky, things are afoot in Prince Edward Island.
Ooh.
The police in Canada's PEI have reported that they've rescued a second seal pup crossing a road in just a week's time.
Seal pup.
No word on the chicken that they were obviously chasing.
That was a horrible joke, Dan. That's all you have to say about that?
I stand by my jokes.
Okay. This is also from our friends in Canada, who are usually way more polite, but this story is showing me otherwise. Have you ever been driving along, minding your own business, then entered into some kind of altercation with someone stupid enough to be driving a vehicle emblazoned with their employer's contact?
Yeah, usually it says police on the side.
Yeah, one of those 1-800 How's My Driving stickers. You know what I mean? For a Sudbury, Ontario couple last July, calling such a number didn't go quite so well. This week saw the culmination of a road rage incident that could have ended far worse and will definitely be one for the books.
Which books?
You know, the books.
Oh, those books.
Right.
How soon we forget.
On July 27, 2020, the OPP...
You caught me drinking, you bastard.
I was waiting for it.
You know me.
There we go.
Damn it.
The OPP received a call from a woman who was a passenger in a car driven by her husband, traveling near Nairn Center, about half hour outside of Sudbury. A blue Chevrolet van had been tailgating them until it pulled out to pass them on her side. As the van passed, the driver threw a partially filled water bottle at her, striking her in the face through the open window. The woman was not injured. The water bottle landed inside the vehicle.
What does that have to do with the story at large?
Well, you need to know where the water bottle is, right?
I was on the edge of my seat.
Exactly. Because the bottle-throwing, tailgating road warrior was driving a company truck, the couple decided to call the number and speak to a manager. But guess who answered the phone? The bottle whipper himself.
Oh, snap.
He saw his opportunity to continue to yell at them via this new medium.
What an ass.
I'm glad you called.
I wasn't done with you yet, not by a long shot.
How'd you like that bottle to the face, lady? The couple followed at a safe distance until police intercepted the van. Passenger in the van said he'd been asleep when he was awakened by the driver starting his argument and watched it continue to unfold on the phone. I don't know how he watched it on the phone, but...
So, am I to understand, as they're talking in their car to who they think is back at the office as the manager,
Yes, it's
the guy that chucked the bottle at
Yes,
them is
exactly.
driving in front of them still,
Yes.
continuing to argue with them.
Exactly, yeah.
I love Canada.
I thought they were much more polite than that. But this week, judge sentenced the driver to 4-month house arrest for the assault with a weapon, it says. Quote, he already had 8 violence-related convictions on his criminal record. This is his 9th, which also comes with a 5-year weapons ban.
So how's he going to get hydrated now?
I don't know. If the water bottle was a weapon, I don't know how
He's never going to be hydrated again.
what's he going to drink?
I have no idea, man. Beer? Molson?
Yes. Clearly that's what he's going to drink.
Out of it might as well be Canada department in Alaska.
Yes.
So while everything's been a little crappy lately for like the last year or more, getting away from it all sometimes is a really good idea. I mean, don't you think?
Yes, I do.
So the idea of going out in the middle...
Thank you for asking.
You're welcome. Why are you leaving? So the idea of going out in the middle of the wilderness is a nice reset.
Yeah.
Well, a Alaskan woman, Shannon Stevens, her brother Eric, and his girlfriend, they traveled about 20 miles northwest of Haines, Alaska, to stay at her brother's yurt for some R&R.
All right. Staying at the yurt.
the Yellow Yurt Inn. So while they're at the yurt, Shannon decided she had to go to the restroom. And with it being a wilderness retreat, they had an outhouse.
Uh-huh.
So she travels this 150 feet to the outhouse,
Okay.
opens the door, goes to do her business, and received a bite.
A bite, you say.
I bite, I say. Right on her derriere, I say.
By what?
By what is apparently a black bear.
Oh, my. Wow.
There was a bear.
Quite the bite.
A bear in the crapper.
I'm sort of surprised you missed that.
A bear bit her on the bear behind. So she took off out of there. She ran and told her brother. Her brother came out. He opened the door, and the bear's looking at him face to face in the bathroom.
Wow.
At which point they all scream and run back to the yurt.
Uh-huh.
The injuries were non-life-threatening. They patched her up a little bit.
Yeah.
No word on either one of them had the shit scared out of them, Ricky.
Is it just me, or does yurt sound like something that you do in an outhouse?
She went to yurt. And she's like, I got to go yurt. I'll be back, eh? Well,
really.
I think Canadians and Alaskans speak the same. I'm
Pretty
not sure.
much the same.
I'm not sure. Speaking of cold weather things, we're going to switch on across the pond to our Irish Bureau now.
You know there's no snakes there.
That's what I've heard.
Yes.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So if you think it's cold where you're at right now in the world, well, you have nothing on Irishman Ger Purcell. Man, his name's Ger, G-E-R, dude. I don't know. Mr. Purcell became the world's oldest ice mile swimmer on January 30th by swimming the Shannon River in Limerick.
Grr, I bet that was cold.
Grr. Oi. So he was swimming. You know what? It reminds me of my favorite Limerick, Ricky.
Yeah.
There once was a man from Limerick who had a huge
Okay, that's
foot.
okay. Wonderful, Dan.
2 for 2 on jokes that bombed.
Also out of the UK. While we're over there.
Ireland's not part of the UK, I don't think.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Well, what is it? UK, Great Britain, and then
Yeah.
something's part of Great Britain, but not part of the
Scotland is part of Great Britain, but not part of the UK.
UK. I don't know, man.
Or maybe it isn't. I don't. Who knows?
We don't live there.
How should I know?
I don't. I'll ask my wife when I get home. Sure, no.
I could Google it, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna be happy with my ignorance.
Keep stumbling through this
Now,
bit.
now that I think about it more, I'm pretty sure Ireland's not part of the UK.
I don't think.
I don't. Who knows?
All right,
Anyway.
what happened in jolly old England, sir?
Well, in Middleborough, there's a cracked inn that was so busy it had 2 queues.
Good to know that small businesses are still thriving through the
Yes,
pandemic, Ricky.
Yes, that's true. A crack den was so busy that a queue for waiting customers had to be split in two. That place has now been shut down. Up to 15 people were seen lining up outside the terraced house on Percy Street in Middleborough, the town council said. The property has now been boarded up after a court order was obtained.
It's a shame to see that the government stepping in and shutting down small businesses.
I know. There's a lot of that going around. In November, the Cleveland police, not to be confused with the Cleveland, Ohio police, which of course would not shut down a crack den. That's
They have a history of missing those.
Cleveland's economy would topple if that happened.
Anyone from Cleveland listening to this can send all messages.
I'll take them. Send them to me.
Courtesy of Ricky French.
Who?
Ricky French.
Yeah, I'll take. I will go on record. I dislike Cleveland.
I know.
As a city.
I know you do. Yes.
I like their sports teams, okay, and all that stuff. It's just it's hell on earth.
Most people are the opposite.
Well, yeah, that's true. Anyway, in November, the Cleveland, Middleborough, England police logged 19 occasions when crack cocaine was suspected to have been dealt at the house. When police raided the property the same month, they found bags of the drug prepared for sale, and the tenant was arrested.
Wait a minute. If the drugs were already prepared for sale, then why were they so backed up they had to create two queues?
I don't know. Maybe their card reader wasn't working.
But, I do appreciate it, though. If nothing I hate more than leaving the house in the morning, you're running a little late, and you have to wait for your crack.
You could stop by the crack den.
I know. That's why I like Tim Hortons. They run right through there.
Yeah, usually they put it inside of the if you order the donut with the Bavarian cream, since nobody ever does, it's got crack in it.
And every time I've been at Tim Hortons, none of them have ever thrown the water bottle at my face, so that's a plus.
And the Newport Ward counselor, Chris Cook, said, "At its height, I saw this property have to hang on a minute. Let me start that again.
Hit that filter.
Well, yeah, let me start that again. Newport Ward counselor Chris Cook said, "At its height, I saw the property have to organize a second queue from the alley gate as they had too many customers."
Pip, pip, and all. Stiff up my left,
That was the worst British accent.
It's worse than Dick Van Dyke's and Mary Poppins, man. Chim chim Murray.
I'm a chimney sweep, I am.
Hello, Governor, would you like some crack?
This is the dumbest segment on the face of the earth.
Hello, Gov. How about some rocks? Would you like some rocks, Governor?
All right, I'm moving on.
Were they crack rocks or crack bullocks?
This is dead. I'm calling it. I'm moving on.
This was the inaugural show and the last show.
That segment is pointless. We are the dumbest people alive.
We chose poorly.
Actually, we're not as dumb as this person. Tulsa police. This is back here in the States, back stateside. Tulsa, Oklahoma. The Tulsa police said a woman is in jail after Cheeto residue on her teeth linked her to an attempted home burglary. Cheeto residue.
So we went from crack rocks to Cheetos.
Yes.
That's a transition.
Uh-huh. Police said on February 26th, patrol officers were dispatched to reports of a person attempting to force their way through the window of a home near 51st and Sheridan. There in Tulsa, 51st and Sheridan.
Oh, yeah, of course, yes.
The victim was alone in the residence with two small children.
So she was not alone in the residence.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can't. I guess not, because how could you be alone if there are other people?
That really shows you how they feel about them kids.
Yeah, I know. She told 911 that a person was breaking in through a window. Officers arrived quickly and found an open window with the screen removed on the front of the house. And a few seconds later, they saw Sharon Carr come out of the shadows and arrested her.
Was she a vampire?
She emerged from the shadows. Police said Carr allegedly pried the screen off and opened the window using a board.
Very descriptive.
A board.
I'm bored. I'm bored.
So was everyone else.
Sorry, folks.
She then entered the home through the window, but left before stealing anything or harming the residents.
Oh, no harm, no foul.
That's good.
Well, how'd they know it was her?
Well, The officer said they found an empty Cheeto bag and a bottle of water on the floor near the open window. Presumably a Cheeto bag that wasn't there before. I don't think somebody framed her or anything.
Maybe she broke in because she really needed some Cheetos.
She brought you. How do you break in a house and you leave it with less than you had when you went in?
That was some bad, poor choice. That was some poor choice. Those choices were as bad as doing that British story.
Yeah, yes, I agree with you wholeheartedly on that.
So how did they link her to the Cheetos?
Well, the victim identified the burglar after seeing her, and she was further linked to the crime because she had Cheeto residue in her teeth.
Ugh.
Yeah, she was caught by the Cheeto dust, just like Mila Kunis in that commercial.
So she was caught orange-handed.
Yes,
you might say.
I wouldn't say that, but you might.
I did. Man, just keep reaching to that pile of horrible stories.
Yes.
Where one of these is going to hit.
I got one for you. The first advertisement ever to show mom's lactating breasts is set to air during the Golden Globes.
Golden Globes, huh?
Golden Globes, indeed.
Yeah.
I'm not reading a story about a lactating commercial.
You did that one after all, did you?
Well, I just don't think it'll work out well if I read that. If you're from Rhode Island, look out. If you got a speeding ticket 30 years ago, you might still be in for it. This is out of Providence. A year after the state's new collection agency began pursuing $29 million in 20-year-old traffic fines, it's recouped a little more than $367,000.
Shows you just how bored they are in Rhode Island.
Yes.
If they're going back after traffic tickets for 30 years.
From the 90s, when you had a flat top.
Hey, officer, it wasn't my fault. I was listening to Whoop, there it is.
Yes.
That really gets me going.
I'm sorry. So Warren G was trying to regulate, and I wasn't paying attention to my speed.
I was trying to get home in time to watch House Party 2. What do you expect from me?
The Fresh Prince is coming on in 10 minutes, and I was trying to get home.
Look, if I don't get home and get out of this starter jacket, it's going to wrinkle.
Listen, my mom and dad are going to be upset. You know, parents just don't understand.
I remember hearing about it. They were in a Porsche, right?
Yep. Something yada yada Porsche. Parents just don't understand.
Beating him, I don't know. Some kind of child abuse in that song.
Dad, DJ Jazzy Jeff. Who knows?
Eventually, he ended up fighting aliens.
Yeah. Eventually, he did.
Eventually, he did. What else you got, Ricky?
I got another Florida man for you.
No.
There's no shortage of those.
Return of the Florida Man.
Yes. This time he's in Pembroke Pines. Lovely area.
Very alliterative.
Yes, Pembroke Pines. A naked man who was knocking on doors at a South Florida apartment complex was shot on Wednesday by someone who then called 911 to turn himself in.
Very responsible.
Yes. Yeah. The man was carrying a Bible for some reason and knocking on doors and the sun.
Really? You want to try this again?
Yeah, let me try that one again.
Okay, go ahead.
The man was carrying a Bible and knocking on doors at the Sunshine Gardens apartments when someone there shot him. Pembroke Pines Police Major Al Zeeks told the South Florida Sun Sentinel. The man would say South Florida Sun Sentinel 10 times fast.
Nope.
Okay. The man was taken to a hospital in critical condition, police said. The police were already on their way to the area to investigate reports of a naked man when another 911 caller said he just shot the man.
Well, usually when they come to the door with a Bible in hand, I just tell them no.
Got another one for you there, Danimal.
No, okay. keep bringing them. You got another minute and a half on the clock.
Orlando attorney John Morgan dons meat sweats in Arby's apology video.
Oh my God, we've been so bad. We've had to go to the meat sweat story after all.
Yeah, it made the cut.
That was on the bottom of the pile.
Yeah, this is true. No word of a lie. While he may take no prisoners in the courtroom, high-profile Orlando attorney. Well, it's still related. He's still from Florida. Like everything is terrible.
Hey, I'm a Tampa Bay fan. Remember? Come on now.
Yeah, of course you are. High-profile Orlando attorney and Florida's so-called pot daddy John Morgan is making amends with Arby's to settle the internet beef between. Get it? The internet beef.
Yeah, that was.
That's stupid. Settle the internet beef between him and the fast food chain. Morgan got decked out in a matching meat sweatsuit and filmed an apology video outside his vacation home in Maui.
Okay. You say
Must
meat.
be nice.
You say meat sweatsuit. I can think of as Lady Gaga and her meat suit.
Yeah.
Was it similar?
Yeah, no, it's just like a tracksuit with it says sandwich slices on it. I don't know what that even
The
means.
hell is a sandwich slice?
I don't know.
I've never eaten just a slice of sandwich. Look at me.
John Morgan said in his video, the thing about Arby's that I don't understand is how does it stay in business? There are certain places that I haven't been to in 10, 15, 20 years. Like who goes to Bojangles? I drive by Bojangles. Who's there? I drive by Crystal's. Unless you're drunk at 3 in the morning, who goes to Crystal's? How do they stay in business? The one I really worry about is Arby's. I have not been in Arby's in forever and ever, he said. How do they stay in business? I don't know. I think it has to do with organized crime and maybe money laundering.
Well,
So this guy, he just decided to accuse Arby's of organized crime offhandedly. A lawyer probably should know better than that.
out of all the things I would accuse Arby's of, it's not organized crime.
Really,
Stomach issues, bland food, overpriced jalapeno poppers, maybe. But
Yeah.
organized crime? I don't know.
Organize much of anything, really.
Yeah, tell me about it.
So at least he did apologize, though. He made an apology video after Arby's flew him into Maui a Jamocha shake and a beef and cheddar. No bullshit. They
Just stop. Look, our clock intern's waving at us.
She has a name, Dan. It's Cody. Cody Ann.
Oh, geez.
All right, stick around. We'll have more coming up in the last segment of the show, including mythical creatures and other news from Down Under.
Noka News Network.
Are you into model trains? Well, I'm not, but if you are, I've got a great suggestion, and that's Scale Sound Systems. Scale Sound Systems offers aftermarket drop-in speaker systems, LED conversion kits, decoders, parts, and installation services for model trains. Scale Sound Systems is an authorized ESU, Soundtracks, and TCS dealer and offers the best-sounding HODCC speaker systems on the market. Find Scale Sound Systems on Facebook, visit YouTube for demonstration and installation videos, and visit them at scalesoundsystems.com to shop and for other great information. scalesoundsystems.com.
Ricky,
Yeah.
what do you buy someone when they already have all the cool stuff?
Well, Dan, I'm here to tell you that there's nobody who has all the cool stuff.
What about Bill Gates?
He still doesn't have all the cool stuff. You know why?
Why?
Because I look at the invoices for our online merchandise store, and Bill Gates hasn't ordered anything.
That bastard.
Yeah.
He could order a sweet hoodie, a t-shirt, a tote, or a mask, or even one of these fine handcrafted. Well, they're probably not handcrafted, but these coffee mugs.
They're definitely not handcrafted, but they're still nice.
They are nice, and they feature our little Noka News Network guy, the Earth going. Eh.
Yep.
Where can we find this store, Ricky?
NocaNews.BigCartel.com, NOCA News.BigCartel.com.
Yeah, I mean, stop by, pick you up something. I mean, we need to get paid.
Welcome back to Noka News Network. I'm Ricky French. That's Dan Colley. He's windmilling right now. Man.
I'm just happy the second segment's over, man.
Yeah, me too. That was dog shit.
Dog shit's what that was.
All right.
Speaking of dog shit, go ahead and do your next story. That's what's called a transition, folks.
Yes, exactly. Nice segue. We got over the hump, Dan. We're greener pastures. Speaking of greener pastures, this is out of Lincoln, Nebraska.
Oh, that was pro move.
During a traffic stop along O Street,
Oh.
I knew that was coming. That's why I paused. An officer with the Lincoln Police Department seized several weapons.
Like broadswords
Weapons.
and maces.
You just wait.
Okay.
Hear what this fella had. This fine gentleman. Thursday morning, around 10 a.m., which would be morning, the LPD officer saw a red 2012 Chevy Chrysler.
A what?
That's what it says. A red 2012 Chevy Chrysler.
What the hell is a Chevy Chrysler?
Either it doesn't exist or Chevy's got some cease and desist letters. coming
Chevy,
their way.
you got some splaining to do.
You can't just make a car and call it our brand name.
Today's episode brought to you by Chevy Chrysler.
America's #1 non-existent automobile.
And that's why we got non-existent checks.
Yes, exactly. Well, that's not the only reason why.
Segment 2 is another good reason why.
The driver was identified as 30-year-old Claytavius Wiley.
Wait a minute. Didn't we have a Claytavius Wiley as a janitor at one time here at the station?
Claytavius Wiley. You know, I'm sort of surprised to hear this about Claytavius because he's usually such a nice guy.
Good, clean-cut young man.
The officer noted a strong odor of marijuana coming from inside the car, which prompted him to search the vehicle.
No. The fact that it was a Chevy Chrysler prompted him to search the vehicle.
Exactly. A loaded handgun was found stashed in his center console. When the police went to place Wiley in custody, he ran.
Like you do.
Yes, as one does. Chasing him down, other LPD officers came to assist and eventually took Wiley into custody. And by the way, Wiley is a very apt name for a guy who got away from the cops, don't you think?
Usually the Wiley is the one trying to chase down subjects.
He's a real wily fellow.
Yeah.
Continuing with the car search, LPD found several Nebraska in-transit papers, which I don't know what that is. Bus pass or something, I don't know.
Something to do with the Chevy Chrysler?
I have no idea. Marijuana scattered throughout the vehicle. Prescription pills not prescribed to Wiley. A stun gun. Brass knuckles. And some ammunition.
Brass knuckle. Was he getting ready to go to an old-timey rumble?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was going to fight the Ninja Turtles or something. Who has brass knuckles?
Where'd you get those from, the flea market?
I believe that's the only place that one can purchase brass knuckles.
And the Chevy Chrysler.
Yes, also the only place a young man like Claytavius can find such a fine automobile as a Chevy Chrysler. So
To get it off Wish.com.
yeah, that must have been
Good to know that Wish is now branching out into auto dealing.
$12.99. It took 6 months to get there, but man, when it did,
Just like the Toyota 4Runner, Tacoma, Ford Fairlane. I don't know, man. I don't know cars.
anyway, he got arrested, and there's multiple weapons and drug charges because of the what with the brass knuckles and all.
Yeah, well, at least he didn't have any water bottles.
Yes,
So that's a plus. Let's talk about things that are a little bit easier to swallow, like pizza.
Yes.
And I've swallowed a lot of it. A Massachusetts man. Is it Massachusetts?
I'm gonna cut that and use out that piece of audio and use it against you. By the way,
Ain't gonna hurt. A Massachusetts man went for a pizza or some za, as the cool kids call it.
nobody says.
Quit messing with me here, would you? I'm trying to be cool and hip. I'm trying to be the hip
It's
one.
not working. Go ahead.
I'm trying to be the hip one of the two of us.
Yes. Well,
So
good luck.
A Massachusetts
not that I am either. That's not how I meant it.
a Massachusetts man goes for pizza for dinner and decided to pick up a pizza and ended up picking up a lot more than what he intended. Thomas Napiorkowski?
You want to try that again?
Nope. Thomas Napiorkowski was picking up a pizza from Uno's Pizzeria and Grill at the Holyoke Mall and decided to spend a couple of his hard-earned bucks at a local lotto vending machine. The old pizza-picking partner bought a scratcher that unveiled a $1 million prize.
Oh, Lucky him.
When interviewed, he said that he was going to buy his wife a new car with some of the winnings. But the question that's still on everyone's mind is why in the hell would he go to an Uno pizzeria?
That is the piece of information that story really needed to have.
Yeah, because I haven't been to an Uno pizzeria since I could choose what pizzeria I wanted to go to.
You know what goes great with pizza, Dan?
A ice cold beverage?
Yes, specifically a vanilla Coke. But a vanilla Coke didn't work out well for one guy. This is out of Colorado. DNA evidence taken from a can of vanilla Coke has helped Colorado police crack a decades-old murder case. Investigators used a relatively new technology called genetic genealogy to locate the suspect using DNA from family members whose biological information is already on file, either with a federal agency or a private company that has agreed to turn over its records to law enforcement. See, this is why you don't do 23andMe. This is why you end up getting arrested. You know, if you're the murdering type.
Well, maybe you wanted to try to find out. It's like, I don't want to murder, but my ancestors, my great-grandpappy used to murder, and I got to find out. That makes sense. Yeah, I'm Czechoslovakian. I got to murder. It's not my fault.
So in this instance, the FBI partnered with a company called United Data Connect, not that anyone cares, to trace the DNA on a can taken from the crime scene to a Nebraska man named David Anderson, who, according to 9 News Denver, lived a quiet life in the nearly 40 years since cops say he murdered Sylvia Quayle in Cherry Hills, Colorado.
Well, once you get done with the murder, it really takes it out of you. You got to, I was done. Man, I murdered. I better take it easy.
I could use a refreshing vanilla Coke.
Maybe he pulled a rotator cuff in the middle of a murder, and now he had to take the rest of the time off. The rehab.
In August of 1981, Quayle was found in her Colorado home after being murdered, of course. Police found that the phone wire had been cut like it was a movie, and the screen from Quayle's bathroom window had been removed and thrown into the woods.
Was it pried open with a board? Because that seems to be a running thing now.
It may have been. Yes, apparently that works. Just pry it off with a board. Throw it in the woods.
I gotta go to Lowe's and get me a window opener real quick.
Quayle was found by her father covered in blood with several broken fingernails and red marks that were, quote, consistent with the shape of fingers. Police spent decades unsuccessfully trying to piece together the events of that night, and officers say it's a relief to finally receive some clarity on the brutal murder that rocked the small town. But I think the real story here is that I had no idea that vanilla Coke existed since 1981.
Yeah, I thought that was more of I thought that's when the new Coke and the old classic Coke battled it out for Coke supremacy.
Yeah, me too.
You want to stick in Colorado?
Yeah, what else is happening in Colorado?
It's time for Metal News. Colorado resident Gene Wannell took little Sadie out for a walk at 6 a.m. Today was different. Today, during the walk, Sadie was attacked by a mountain lion. Gene was quick to act like a badass. He reached at the mountain lion mosh pit and found an old survey stake, and he hit the mountain lion in the face 3 times. He kicked its ass. The big cat left, and Sadie was rushed to the vet, where she underwent surgery and is now recovering.
Well, that was real metal, Dan.
Thank you. All right, so
was Sadie a dog, by the way?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they took him out every morning at 6.
I thought it was a person until you said that he took her to the vet.
Yeah, it was his dog Sadie.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah. Speaking of something that's actually pretty kind of metal, Australian. All right, we won't even do that. Australian police said they have found the partial remains of a fraud suspect who vanished from her Sydney home 4 months ago. Businesswoman Melissa Chaddock's disappearance has captivated public attention amid allegations she stole millions of dollars from her clients. police had found no trace of her until last week when campers spotted a shoe containing a decomposed foot on a beach 250 miles south of Sydney. But Ricky, the real part of this story here that I want to bring to your attention is my submission of quote of the year.
Lay it on me.
All right. So the quote is, Mr. Willing said the discovery of her remains indicated that she was dead.
Generally speaking, that's what that indicates.
That's some real crack police work right there, Ricky. Good job, Australia.
Guess what else is going on down under there, Dan?
Vegemite sandwiches? No. Post-apocalyptic road warriors driving around trying to get gas?
I mean, all of that stuff might be happening, I guess I'll be honest with you. But anyway, wildlife expert and lecturer Gary Opit, you know the one, believes his daughter came face-to-face with a gibbon-like creature on December 20th last year in Nimbinjee, New South Wales, Australia.
Couldn't it just be a gibbon?
It was a gibbon-like creature.
All right, fair enough.
This is also that last story was from New South Wales. What are the odds?
I know, that place is buck wild, baby.
As an expert in zoology, Gary dismissed the sighting as any known ape because they do not live in the area.
Oh, that's why it wasn't a gibbon. It was a gibbon-like creature.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense now.
Gary said, our daughter and her partner, when staying with us over Christmas, saw a Nimbinjee, or little hairy man, jump up onto our roof at 2 a.m. And from their description, it was exactly like a gibbon in all respects.
But not a gibbon because they've never been in Australia, right?
It was like a gibbon in every way except for it wasn't one.
Like I'm a professional broadcaster in every way except I'm not one.
Exactly.
Yeah, you go.
Of course, there are no gibbons here, and there never have been nocturnal and terrestrial gibbons known.
Were there any extraterrestrial gibbons known?
That I don't know.
Okay.
He's not an expert on that.
Oh, all right. Well.
They said that there were two of them calling quietly to one another. We have an audio recording of the calls and a colored illustration of what we saw, which I wish I could show you this. It looks a lot like the Leprechaun sketch.
The eyewitness
Yes,
leprechaun
yeah,
stick.
yes.
Oh, man, that was classic.
Yeah.
That was also 10 years ago, so way to be timely.
Exactly. Cryptozoology researcher Andrew McGrath reports the so-called Nimbinjee as being 3 to 4 feet tall with brown skin and covered with dark brown or red hair. Sounds like an uncle of mine. What makes it particularly strange is the fact that it's bipedal, standing upright, and makes strange barks that sound like "aroo, aroo," interspersed with gurgling "gu gu 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 gu." Andy added.
That was expertly done, Ricky.
By the way, I was reading that. I can't know if that was accurate at all.
I think if this doesn't work out, you could be a cryptozoological expert.
Yes. Witnesses from across Australia say they've also heard the Nimbinjee cackle like a chicken. You know how those chickens cackle.
You want to give me that one?
No, I'm not going to.
Okay, all right.
Gary stumbled upon footprints he believes to have belonged to the Nimbinjee. Gary, who hosts a weekly radio show. Oh, there we go.
Oh, all right. So he's the Australian Art Bell.
Yes, exactly.
All right.
Which, speaking of way to be timely, I think Art Bell died 20 years ago.
I'm old, man. What do you want from me, all right? I don't know. George Norrie. There you go. That's who took over Coast to Coast.
All right. So the mythical Nimbinjee.
All right. So here's my question to you. If I saw a little 4-foot hairy dude going at me, first of all, I'm going to think he's going to be like from the Scooby Gang going ghost.
Exactly.
But I'm not going to be scared of that. I'm 6 foot, 350 pounds. I'm going to kick him really hard.
Well, what mythical creature, fictitious or otherwise, would be something that you were afraid of?
I would not like to come across like the Sasquatch or a Skinwalker. That would be pretty terrifying.
Those are both bad.
I don't care for the Jersey Devil or the New Jersey Devils hockey team for that fact. But I mean, yeah, like cryptozoological creatures like that are pretty cool. I mean, when you read about them, but yeah, I gotta agree with this guy. If I'm just hanging out and I see this thing on my roof, was it like the gremlin from Twilight Zone? Is that what they're kind of describing? Except a miniature version?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Instead
exactly.
of on the wing, it was on the roof.
Same thing, right? Wing, roof, they sound similar. Right. What would scare you? I mean, I want to go with, let me guess, Chupacabra?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not a goat, thankfully, but still, it would be frightening. I think Mothman sounds pretty scary.
Mothman, yeah. This just goes to prove, though, that everything in Australia will kill you. Everything in Australia will kill you. Yeah. Or at least rip your foot off in your shoe and throw it in the beach. Based on that last story we heard.
Yes. Oh, man. Well.
Remember when you said segment 3 was going to be better?
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you going to do?
Better luck next week.
If they don't foreclose on the studio.
All right, that's all the time we got right now. We have merchandise that you probably don't want, but if you do, it's at our store, nocanews.bigcartel.com.
We have mugs there. We've been drinking out of them the entire show. Can you tell?
They work wonderfully.
They do indeed. You can also buy T-shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts, face mask, and, of course, the tote bag. We're not even going to ask you to pledge for that one. You can also reach out to us at nocanewsnetwork@gmail.com, Noka News Network on Twitter and Facebook, and like Ricky said, the Big Cartel store as well for all your Noka News stuff.
Join us next week. We'll have more fun, I guarantee.
Noka News Network.